He says there is a man who's from your followers. We could call him a Shia. He remains in his house. He's isolated himself in his house, and he does not meet his brothers in society. He's isolated. What do you say about such a person? What do you have to say about him? Let's look at the response of the Imam. The Imam ﷺ asked one question. قَالَ كَيْفَ يَتَفَقَّهَ هَذَا فِي دِينِهِ. How can such a person become learned about Islam? Look at the question that was posed to the Imam and look at the answer of the Imam. The Imam ﷺ was told about a man who has recognized that the Shia school of thought is the correct school of thought. So he's a Shia. He's one of our followers. But he's isolated himself. He's locked himself up in his house. He doesn't really meet anyone. The Imam ﷺ said, how can this person become learned about Islam? WhatsApp. Excellent. No WhatsApp back then. What do we understand from this hadith? We understand two fundamental points. The first point that the Imam ﷺ is conveying to that companion is that for you to be truly guided and to be learned about Islam, you have to have a teacher, a trainer. Don't think that you can lock yourself up in a room and take out books and just read. It doesn't work that way. Reading is half the journey. Studying and reading is half the journey. The other half, you need a professor, you need a teacher, you need a guide. See, that's why we have universities and colleges. If we have, today, every book you can find online, right? Literally, I mean. Yeah, the knowledge is out there. So why do we have universities? Let people sit in their homes and just read. But does it work that way? Of course not. You have to go to college and meet a professor. You have to be trained by a scholar and professor. Sometimes it has to be hands-on. There's lab work, there's assignments, there is in-class discussions, projects. That's how you achieve progress in many sciences. You can't just sit home and open a biology book and psychology book and I don't know and just start reading on your own. It doesn't work that way. You need a teacher. The Imam ﷺ here is educating us. Don't think that if you want to understand Islam simply by isolating yourself and reading books, you'll get there. You need a righteous scholar to guide you. You need a teacher. That's why on your journey to increasing your knowledge, you must have a trainer, a scholar, a teacher who will guide you. You must study with a scholar. Otherwise, there are many aspects of Islam that you will miss. And sometimes, actually, you will fall into error. I can share with you many historical examples of people who had the proper intention, but they did not study with a scholar. They actually ended up deviating. They ended up deviating. Why did they deviate? Even though they were reading the same books that we're reading. I mean, it's not like they read deviant books. They got the knowledge, but the application of the knowledge was wrong. Because information is one thing, application is another. That's why you have lab, right? That's exactly why you have lab in the School of Medicine or in many other sciences. Because what you learn in your biology class is one thing, and your chemistry class is one thing, and then actually going to the lab and testing everything and see how the chemicals work, see how biology works, is something else. These are two different things. No one can say, no, I no longer need any lab work, right? I'm done. For you to be a doctor, for you to be a dentist, you need that lab work. You can't just study that in a room, in a closed environment. You need hands-on experience. That hands-on experience can only come through a scholar and a trainer. For most people, for the vast majority of people, you need that. So the Imam ﷺ is saying, this person who's isolated himself, what does he think he's going to achieve? He's not really achieving much. In fact, he could deviate. Because there are many things you cannot pick up from the lines of a book. You need experience. A scholar, a trainer, a teacher, a professor gives you experience that a book cannot give you. That's extremely important. And that's one reason why we in the school of Ahlul Bayt always say that you cannot implement the Quran without the Ahlul Bayt. Why? Why do we say that? Why do we insist on that? Whereas the others, no. What was their slogan? Hasbuna Kitab Allah. The book of God is enough. Never. Never is the book of God enough. You need the experience of the Prophet and the Imams. Only they can tell you what the meanings of the Quran is. You can't sit there and read the Quran and try to implement it. It doesn't work that way. In fact, you'll deviate more. And the example that I can share with you, which we have in our ahadith, of how the Quran, which is a source of light and guidance, how can it make you deviate? Because some people are like, wait, the Quran is nothing but goodness. How can it make you deviate, right? Take the example of a lamp. What does a lamp do?
Light.
Gives you light, right? These days we have, different type of light, but back then they had a lamp, a candle, a lamp, a torch. A lamp generates light. It shows you the way in darkness, right? If you give this lamp to someone at night who works for a charitable organization and they want to find people's homes so they deliver aid, what does that lamp do? It allows them to see their way. Give that same lamp, which is supposed to show you the way, to a thief, to a robber. What can a robber do with a lamp at night? What can it do? What can he do?
Go and steal.
Exactly. That same lamp will show him the way and he'll go and steal. The Quran describes itself as being a light. Noor. It's a lamp. It depends in which hands it falls. If it falls in good hands, it will be a light that will show you the proper path. But if this Quran, this same Quran, falls in the hands of a thief, a spiritual thief, symbolic thief, of a deviate, of a corrupt person, of someone who is not well learned and well versed in Islam, what can they do? They could do damage with this Quran. Yes, absolutely. That's why the Ahlul Bayt have warned us, never approach the Quran unless through the gates of Ahlul Bayt. And the Imam actually gives us a very beautiful but alarming hadith. The Imam ﷺ says, every door, every house has a door. If you want to properly enter a house, from where do you enter? From the door. If you enter another way, from the window, from the backyard, what are you called in society? Someone, an intruder, a robber, a thief. That's what they do. That's how they break into homes, right? The Imam ﷺ says the Quran has a door assigned by the Prophet ﷺ, and that door is us, the Ahlul Bayt. So if you go to the Quran not through that door, what are you really? You be the judge here. So in this hadith, the Imam ﷺ states, is conveying this fundamental point, that you need a scholar, a trainer when it comes to the religious sciences. Don't think you could isolate yourself in a room and read what you want.